Hello, and welcome to Climate Action Live. I'm Sacha Parkinson, and I have the great privilege of interviewing Chair of the Elders, Mary Robinson. Hello, Mary.
Sacha, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm in Dublin and it's sunny, so I can't complain.
Can't complain. Yeah, that's true. So, I want to go straight in with the questions. What is the most pressing issue that we face?
The most pressing issue is the climate crisis because we need to take decisions this year to prevent uh, humankind from being in out of control situation for climate.
What do you see as the long-term outcome for human beings?
Long term outcome depends on what we do this year. And I'm hopeful that we will take the right decisions at the two conferences, the COP15 in China on biological diversity and COP26 in Glasgow. And then we'll be on course for a 1.5-degree world, which means that it will be much healthier because we won't have air pollution. It will be much fairer because we will have a green economy with green jobs.
How confident are you in the ability of human beings to solve the climate crisis?
But believe it or not, Sasha, I am more confident now, post COVID, um, turning the whole world upside down, than I was in January 2020, when I wondered if
Really?
countries were going to have the necessary sense of ambition. Now, I think COVID has taught us how vulnerable we are, how fragile our humanity is, how collective our fate is, that it affects everyone. And so I think we're more serious about addressing the climate issue, and I'm more hopeful.
Oh, well, that's so good to hear. And absolutely, I think it has made everyone vulnerable and just realize what is important in life as well. And part of that is the world we live in. It's if we don't make changes now, it's not going to end well for any of us. Where do you find your hope, Mary?
Well, I'm required as chair of the elders to bring hope because Nelson Mandela, when he brought the elders together in 2007 on his 89th birthday, he wanted us to help to continue his legacy of working for peace, working for human rights, working for young people, for those on the margins, etc. And he said, bring hope where there is despair. And Archbishop Tutu, the first chair of the elders, taught me a lesson when we were together in New York at a meeting
Yeah.
addressing young people because he was challenged by the moderator, Archbishop Tutu, why are you so optimistic? And he said, oh no, I'm a prisoner of hope. And I've thought a lot about that. I think we all have to be prisoners of hope, meaning, the glass may not be half full. I'm raising a glass at the moment. You can see I've been drinking. It's almost empty. We work with what's there, and we
Yeah.
make a difference. We make our communities resilient. We fight back to ensure that we have a future.
What does the core message of today's event, no climate action, no peace, mean to you?
Putting together no climate action, no peace recognizes that we are at a critical stage in relation to the climate crisis. If we don't take action, we will have terrible disruptions. We will have forced movement of people, forced to move because they can no longer live in dry, arid conditions, in flooded places, etc. Whole cities around the world could go under with sea level rise very shortly if we don't take the right steps. So we can't have peace in terrible circumstances of disruption. So there's a complete link between the two.
Mary, what is the most important thing that we can all do right now as individuals to help the climate crisis?
When I talk to audiences, as I do a lot nowadays, I ask not for
Yeah.
one thing, but that everyone, all of us, should take three steps. And the first step is to make the climate crisis personal in your life, because it's important enough to do that. Don't leave it to politicians or large
Yeah.
corporations. Yes, they have to do, it, but we all. And how do we know we've made it personal? We have to do something we weren't doing yesterday, like
Yeah.
recycling more carefully, using our energy more efficiently, changing our diet, eating less meat. Secondly, we must get angry with those who have more responsibility, and that is governments, it's large corporations, it's investors, it's cities, because they need to move more quickly, as the young climate activists keep calling for. And thirdly, and this speaks to something I said earlier, we must imagine this world we need to be hurrying towards. We need to be in a different place entirely by 2030. We need to have reduced by 50% our emissions globally. And that's a big challenge. But what will it mean? It will mean that we'll have a much healthier world. We'll clearly have a much fairer world because we will have had to share the green technology with developing countries, and they will have access to electricity. Women won't have to cook on open fires and suffer air pollution indoors. They'll have access to green digital jobs in the developing world. It will be a much more equal world. It's a world I'm looking forward to, but we don't talk about it enough. It will motivate us more if we really want to get there.
I have to admit, when I was very kindly asked to do this a couple of days ago, as soon as I was asked, I was like, yeah, sure, sign me up. And then the more I thought about it, I suddenly felt overwhelmed and a little bit out of my depth, because I realized that although I have consciously made changes in my lifestyle for the environment, especially over the past couple of years, I realized that the climate crisis, discussing the climate crisis just isn't a conversation I really have, or isn't something I think about as much as I should. And I felt really embarrassed, and I thought, oh gosh, maybe I'm not the right person for this. And I think it's really easy then to avoid a conversation through fear of, coming across ignorant. And then I realized, no, it's actually super important for me to step into this space as a space where we should all be, and use it as an opportunity to learn and question myself and question what I do and don't do. And yeah, I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to interview, because you've contributed so much to the fight for change. And it's really opened my eyes and gave me a push to, make more positive changes in my life.
I think you're entirely the appropriate person to have this conversation, because you have gone through a process I hope everybody is ready to go through and must go through, of making it personal in your life and seeing that you can make a contribution. And we've learned something from COVID, from the COVID-19 pandemic. We've learned that collective human behavior actually matters. It's the only thing that has protected us from the virus as we wait for the vaccine rollout. So that's good. And then, the good news for you, where you are now, is that by making it personal and taking ownership a little bit of the issue, that helps your anxiety and your sense that this is something a bit too big for me. No, you kind of come to terms with the fact that you're on the right side of the issue now, and that's a good thing for your mind and for your mental health as well, which is important.
Absolutely. And I feel empowered now to go and spread the message, spread it far and wide. It's okay me doing my little bits, which is great, but it's important to encourage other people and those around us to also make the changes too. You're right. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to interview
Sacha.
today. I've learned a lot.
Thank you. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Me too. Take care.